Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to set up Visual Studio 2017 with the Lynar engine, and we are doing this by downloading and installing Visual Studio 2017 Community and downloading the latest version of the Lynar engine. And this is important, always get the latest version of the engine. And then we are creating a project in Visual Studio. So first thing you need to do is to visit the Visual Studio website and download Visual Studio. Just click the link and the installation process might take a while. Then you need to get the Lynar engine. Just visit the website, click repositories, Moon and releases, and here you will get the latest version of the engine and download the source code. So after you did that, open Visual Studio, and the first thing you might want to do, due to the fact that this tutorial is in English, you might want to change the language. And you can do this by clicking Tools, Options, International Settings. Here you can select English and click OK. And to apply these changes you actually have to restart Visual Studio again. Let's now create a new project by clicking File, New, Project, Visual C++, Empty Project, and let's choose a name. And please remember the location, that's very important. And make sure this is selected and click OK. For those people who would like to participate in any official Lynar Studios project, you need to set some advanced settings to stick to the Lynar Studios code style. Otherwise you can skip the step. But if you want to do this, click Tools, Options, and let's select Text Editor, C++, and Tabs, and make sure that all these settings are set. And next we need to have a closer look at the formatting. Clicking General, and this is something I find very annoying, that Visual Studio would paste code in its own style, and we want to do nothing when we paste any code. And last thing to do is selecting View and outlining, and make sure that these settings are set. And that's it. After you've unpacked the engine folder, copy it and navigate to this location again, and it has a subfolder with the project name, and paste it. Let's now add the engine header and source files by adding some filters first. So right click on header files, add new filter. Let's call this one Moon, and do the same with source files. Now right click on this filter, add existing item. This is our project folder, and this is the folder we included before. Select include and add these. Great, and do the same here. Source folder, and add these. Next thing we need to do is to add SDL. This is the graphics card API. We're doing this by right clicking the project name, select properties. First make sure that all configurations are selected and x64 as well. Select directories, include directories, edit, new, navigate to this folder again, select lib for library, And let's start with the first one, include. Next one, new, library, and the image one, new one, mixer, include directory, TTF for true type font, include. Okay. And let's now add the library directories. It's the same procedure. New, lib. Let's start with the first one again. This time select lib and x64. And do the same with the other 3 ones. And apply these changes. Now select linker to add the library files. Click additional dependencies, edit, and add these 5 lines. And click OK. We also need to set a subsystem, so we are still in the linker section. We are selecting system and select console application. Apply. Last thing we need to do is to configure the preprocessor by selecting C, C++, preprocessor, definitions, edit, and now we need to add these 2 lines. Click OK and apply these changes. And click OK. Let's now include a main function by right-clicking source files, add new item, select C++, and let's call this one main. Add. So I think you know how this works. Next thing we need to do is to check the LE global header file so that LE Windows is defined and LE Linux is undefined. It's okay. And let's select release here, and of course x64 since we're building a 64-bit application. Then click build and build solution. This will generate an executable file. And it worked. So very last thing we need to do is to add the DLL files, and let me show you the current location. So enter x64 folder, release, and this is where you can find your executable file, and this is the place where you need to include all the DLL files for SDL. And you can find them in the engine directory. Select lib, and let's start with the first one again, lib x64, and there's one, and include it here. And this is something you need to do with all the 3 other libraries. So let's do it. Let's sort them by type. So to make sure that we won't forget any. Mixer. Sort by type. And the last one. Yes. Click OK. And that's it. Let's now test if the engine works by including the engine header file. Include engine folder, include, and LE_moon. Okay. And let's now create an instance of the engine by typing in LE_moon instance. Let's call it engine new LE_moon. This is the constructor. Okay, and let's init, and you can choose a name for your application. I will call it tutorial. Okay, let's build this one. Okay, everything worked. Now open the command line and let's navigate to the folder where you can find your executable file, as you can see here, and let's call the executable file. Press OK, and as you can see, it works. So thank you for watching.